Get this party started. Um, Jackie, why don't you start us off? What are you grateful for today, Jackie?
I am grateful for seeing changes today, not only on the scale, but in my measurements that I took. So I'm extremely happy.
And you're in what, week 3?
I think so. Yeah, I
Hell
think so.
yeah, man. Love that. I love
Yes,
that.
yes,
It's a good feeling.
yes.
Good stuff. Sarah Ray, I haven't seen your face, I feel like, in a long time. I miss you. What are you
Hi.
grateful for? Hi.
I am grateful for my parents and getting to go to Florida this weekend. And I took a long walk on the beach and I sat and just meditated because it was so beautiful. And then I thought, why do I live in Wisconsin? I don't know.
Because everybody else in the whole world already lives in
I
Florida.
know, right? Well, it sure
Florida's been showing off with the weather lately. Florida's
it
weather's
was
downright sexy.
just beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank God.
it's been really nice here.
Yeah.
Barbara, what are you grateful for?
Um, so I had a really nice long weekend, which I'm very grateful for, but I'm also very grateful to get back into routine, like back into my normal place where all my things are where they belong and doing the things I need to do instead of being with a different schedule.
Yeah, I always feel most grateful for my routine after I get out of it. Like when I'm in
Yeah.
it, I'm like, ah, this shit sucks and I don't want to meal prep and blah 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 blah. And then when I don't do it, I'm like, like kind of like the way that feels.
I want to go back and do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell you my body is not super happy when I don't follow like what I'm supposed to do. It's like, you know what? That pisses me off. So here's some discomfort. Thank you.
Mhm.
So
Yep. Yep. I know. Heather, I'm grateful for eating more than 1,000 calories a day. It's crazy what happens, Heather, when you actually fuel your body. Like, how much better are you feeling? 1,000 calories. Oh, look at Michelle. Michelle's shaking her head. Yes, because Michelle's a chronic undereater who's finally losing weight again because she's eating. Um, Carrie says she's grateful for tackling some very big and very hard to do's. You can do hard things, Carrie. We can all do hard things. And you know what the beautiful thing is? It's doing hard things reminds you that you can do hard things. It's one of the best reasons to work out is you're like, I hate this. This is really hard. And I can do hard things. Chrissy got my 30-minute walk-in outside. Heck yeah, Chrissy. Love that. We got a lot of new ladies in here sharing wins. I freaking love that. Let's see. Jennifer, we haven't gotten your gratitude yet. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful that we were able to go visit my daughter this weekend and made it down and back safe without any incidents.
I saw that. That's awesome. I'm glad you're able to do that as well. Um, Michelle, what are you grateful for?
Um, I am grateful to have more daylight in the evenings. However, I am having a hard time adjusting.
Yeah. Um, that makes one of you.
I
Uh,
get it. I get it.
you like it too, Barbara?
I hate when we spring forward.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Hate
me too.
it.
Michelle likes it. I
Oh,
despise it. Michelle
no,
likes it.
I despise it. Yeah. And I will spend the
Me too.
next 6 months being cranky about it until we fall back again.
Me
Yeah.
too. Because I'm like, I'm going to bed and it's still daylight outside, and so I'm pulling
Yes.
my curtains as far
I
as
know.
I
And
can.
everyone's like, oh, but we have so much more daylight. I'm like, your choice is this. Get up earlier in the morning if you want more daylight. It's like we
Yeah,
didn't change the Earth's rotation. It's still the same.
yeah.
Stop screwing up my sleep.
I'm with you, Barbara. Sarah's Lou. Sarah, I don't know why I just said your last name. Sarah, what are you grateful for? I didn't even say your last name right, but that's okay.
It's okay. I am grateful for actually just a small thing. I was walking around just like right before the call. I did like a little loop around our neighborhood, and there's just feeling the sun on my body just like kind of reinvigorated me. So it was nice.
I like that. I like that. Grateful for small things. I actually didn't give my gratitude a whole lot of thought today. I am also, my gratitude is very similar to Barbara's, which is I'm pretty grateful. I'm finally, you guys know, I was on vacation and then I got super sick. And I was telling Sarah when her and I chatted earlier today, I'm still not like 100%. I'm still feeling like a little bit funky, which is weird for me because I don't ever get as sick as I was. Like that's been a long time. So this week I'm finally feeling like a little bit more normal. I'm back in my routine. I started back at the gym. I'm doing my morning routine. I have had to put my phone in the other room to get up with daylight savings. So I have to put my phone in the other room, otherwise I won't get up on time. But I feel good and grateful to be like back to normal after like unplanned basically like 3 weeks of just being out of my routine. So similar to Barbara, like I complain about my routine and how regimented my life is, but I'm way more effective and I'm a better human when my life is that regimented. So I think we got everybody. So uh we're gonna have a little chat. A lot of you guys, I think, are off camera. So some of you guys are at work. If you can always drop your stuff in the chat. So we're gonna have a little review. What are gross? Macronutrients. What are they?
Protein, carbs, and fats.
Good. Protein, carbs, and fats. Okay. There's one more, Jennifer. What's the last one?
Alcohol.
Yes. Protein, carbs, fats. Technically, alcohol is not really a macronutrient, but it is the only other thing that contains calories, right? I know Sarah talked about food last week. I promise we're not going to talk about the same thing. So every calorie that comes in our food comes from either protein, carbs, or fat, or alcohol. Okay. So when you're tracking your food in MyFitnessPal, you are tracking protein, carbs, and fat. And alcohol. Alcohol is hard to track in there, so you'll either track it as carbs or as. So, does anybody know or remember, sort of at a basic level, what function each one plays? So, let's start with carbs. What is the primary role? Why do we eat carbohydrates?
Energy.
Yep, that's their primary role. It's to supply glucose for energy. Okay. What about fat?
That's also for energy too.
And what else?
Muscle.
Mm,
Doesn't fat work just on like your hair, your skin? Like, I don't know if you call that metabolic, but it keeps those parts of you working.
yeah, so close. Hormones. That's really, really, really your hormones need them as well. So we've got carbs for energy, fat is primarily for energy, also for hormones. Yeah. And then what about protein? What do we use protein for?
Muscle building.
What else?
What makes you feel full?
Helps you feel full. Yeah. What else?
Long-term calories. I mean, isn't that how your body operates over a long period of time?
You mean like it's more satiating or like it lasts longer?
Satiating, but also like it's your body burns it over a period of time. Like it's continuous. It's not a spike. It's not a drop. It's just.
Yeah, it takes longer to break down.
Like metabolism.
Yeah. Primarily, remember the longest thing for us to break down is actually fats. Is actually the longest. So protein, muscle building, repair, immune health, hair, skin, nails, tendons, organs, all of that stuff is made out of protein as well. So carbs primarily, their primary source of like thing that we eat them for is energy. Fats are also energy. And again, really important for your hormones. protein is essential. Like protein is literally broken down and you are made out of the stuff. Okay. Alcohol provides absolutely no nutritional value. It is the last macronutrient. It does have calories, right? So just as a review, right? So we have macros, right? So when we're counting calories, we're just adding up how many macros are in there. So does anybody remember how many calories are in carbs, fat, and protein? Per
Jennifer
gram.
can't answer. The quiz from
Jennifer
last
can't
week.
answer.
Yeah, because she got them all last week.
Well,
Somebody
I
else.
promise we'll talk about something different. I'm just reviewing.
Yeah. Do you guys remember?
Carbs, close. Alcohol is 7.
Mhm.
Fat is 9. Protein and carbs are 4. So if you eat 1 gram of fat, so if you go take a butter and you weigh out 1 gram of butter, it's not very much butter. 1 gram is going to have 9 calories in it. But if you take 1 gram of rice, it's going to have 4 calories. If you take 1 gram of chicken breast, for example, kind of technically, it's going to have 4 calories. Okay. So just a little review. And 1 gram of alcohol, which again is not very much alcohol, is going to have 7 calories. Okay. So those are macro nutrients. So let's go ahead and shift and talk about micronutrients. What are micronutrients? Oh,
Would that
we
be
got a lot.
like fiber, vitamin B, vitamin A, different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are examples of some.
Vitamins and minerals.
Vitamins and minerals. Okay. What else we got, guys? You guys are quiet because you don't know. Okay. So they're vitamins, they're minerals. What purpose do these things serve in our body?
To fuel us, like to provide the nutrition we need for our different organs and our brain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else?
For immunotherapy stuff, like to help with our immune systems, make sure we're
Mhm.
healthy.
Yeah. What else? These are all perform processes in cell function. Science coming in, science teacher coming in. Cammy's like, I got this. What else, guys? Why are these things important? Hormone function, brain function, immune function, disease prevention. So I'll give you an example. Can anybody guess? Some of you have heard me say this if you've had a protocol delivered by me. How many processes? Let's use magnesium because that's probably the #1 most recommended supplement. Can anybody guess how many processes in our body require magnesium? Anybody remember? Give me some guesses. Come on, guys. You guys, come on. There's no we're in a safe space here.
Over
We're gonna have
20.
over 20. All right. Who else wants to guess? Drop some guesses. If you're dropping them in the chat, drop them in the chat. I'm not going to talk the whole time. You guys are going to, we're going to have a little bit of fun. 20. Anybody think higher, lower? What do you guys think? 30, 20. What else? Come on, guys.
Well, now I want to up my answer to 40, over 100. Let's just go nuts.
Whoops. Does anybody think it's 100 higher, lower? Come on, guys. I'm not giving you the answer until we get some guesses. So we sit here. I have all day.
Kathy says
I'll
over
go with
100.
higher, more than 100.
Higher. Catherine, what were you gonna say?
I was
250.
going to say the same thing, higher than 100.
Higher.
so
How much
many.
higher?
Over 150.
Okay.
I've never been on this training before. I'm totally guessing.
That's okay. Everybody's totally guessing. Nobody wanted to guess because they were like, I don't know. Candy says 500. Does anybody think that sounds like a little bit high?
Little bit high, yes.
Over 600.
Not
600. Cammy gets a gold star for today. Over 600 processes in your body require, that is one mineral, magnesium, just one. So then think about B vitamins or C vitamins or D vitamins or things like zinc, selenium. Like, right? So when we think of micronutrients, almost every process in your body, in order for it to properly signal and talk to other systems, requires the proper amount of micronutrients. Not only that, you actually want to have them in balance. So I'm actually going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things actually. You know, I hate using slides, but sometimes they're good. So here's, for example, I just pulled up a couple of charts to just kind of show you guys. I just grabbed a couple of them. Here's vitamin D deficiency, infections, allergic diseases, autoimmune, neuropsychiatric disorders, right? Aggressive disorders, skin diseases, arthritis, osteoporosis, intestinal issues. Look at, this is just one freaking vitamin D. And I'll tell you that most people are vitamin D deficient, which is why I recommend it to almost everybody. I spend more time outside in the sun in Florida than most people. I have to supplement vitamin D, right? Look at magnesium. Like, it can cause a lot of issues. Coldness, tingling, etc. Right? So I just picked these because these are really popular ones that we recommend to people because most people are deficient in them. So wait, and then when we think about minerals that we just talked about, like a lot of these minerals, this is actually called a mineral wheel. They actually interact with each other. So this is also why just blindly supplementing can sometimes be dangerous because they need to be in the right balance. They interact with each other, right? So let's find like zinc on here. So for example, zinc, if you take zinc by itself, it'll actually deplete you of copper. So zinc, right? So there's different ones that interact with each other. So not only do we need the right minerals, we need to make sure that we have them in the right balance. Okay. So today we're going to really talk about, I know Sarah talked a lot about macros, and I know we talked to you guys a lot about macros, but what I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of you guys about food quality and micronutrients. Because at the end of the day, we, in this phase of life that we are all in, are not as resilient as we used to be. And so when you're younger, your body is able to compensate a little bit better for a lot of these deficiencies and things like that. Your body is more resilient. When we get to this phase, right, our bodies are a lot more sensitive. We are much less resilient to stress. Anybody like, you know, like when you were younger, you could like stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning, sleep for 4 hours, drink a bottle of wine and get up and you could just go. Yeah, that shit will put you on your ass for 3 days now, right? Your body is just in general, and there's nothing you can do about it. We are aging, our cells are aging. And so it becomes even more important. The other thing here is a lot of this, you know, as we go through that I think is important is to recognize that some of us didn't win the genetic lottery. Some people are able to get away with more, and some people are able to get away with less. Some of us just have good genetics, and around 50% is genetics. Around 50% is genetics, which is how your genes are expressed. So there is 50% of it that kind of just like is what it is. And if you guys have talked to me, I've shared with you, like, especially when I'm doing like food reviews and stuff one-on-one with people that like I didn't win the genetic lottery. Like, I think you guys know that, right? Like, I was 33 years old when I got cancer. My mom's got autoimmune diseases, right? My mom's had cancer. Like, I've had cancer. Like, I have autoimmune markers, right? A lot of those things, right? I'm 40 years old. I'm already in menopause. Like, I didn't win the genetic lottery. Is that fair? Does anybody feel like they have really good genetics? Does anybody feel like, maybe I also didn't win the genetic lottery? Am I the only one?
I didn't. I have like all the mental health issues. And then well, I'm short.
I am also short, Sarah. I'm
I
only
know.
5 feet tall.
I know.
That is not something we can change. I cannot make you
No.
younger and I cannot make you taller.
I know. But really like all the mental health stuff and then I just get these weird ailments all the time. Yeah.
Totally. Carrie didn't win genetics. Carrie, you and I have talked about this before. Yeah. Like, I think we were all here because we didn't win the genetic lot. Yeah. Like, you know those people that like smoke cigarettes and eat McDonald's and they live to like 100? Yeah. Like, most of you are not here because you're just genetically like, right? We're here because we have hormone issues, right? We have weight issues. We have inflammation issues. Our guts are messed up. Like, that's why you guys are here, right? Because if otherwise you'd be able to just count calories and do a little bit of working out and you lose the weight. Anybody follow me when I talk about on social media? Like, there's a lot of people that shit doesn't work for. And so what I really want to talk to you guys about today is definitely didn't get a winning ticket in genetics. Yeah, exactly. Like, none of us are here because we did, right? And good for those people. Good for them. I'm so happy. All you have to do is make sure your donuts fit into your macros and you can lose weight. That's lovely for you, right? That shit doesn't work. So I'm actually going to go through a few examples today, and we're going to talk about micronutrients versus just macros. Sarah already talked about macros. Macros are important. I'm not saying that you can just eat a bazillion calories as long as you're getting your micronutrients and all's going to be well in the world. You might be very healthy, but you probably still be overweight, right? So macros are important. How we make up those macros. So people will say to you, well, 100 calories of donuts is the same thing as 100 calories of sweet potatoes. They're both carbs. So technically, yes, 100 calories of carbohydrates are from a donut versus 100 calories of carbohydrates from sweet potatoes. Technically, they have the same macro nutrients. They both have 100 calories, which would be 25 grams of carbs, right? Because 25 times 4 is 100. So technically, if you were to put them in MyFitnessPal, they would look equal. Does anybody think that donuts and sweet potatoes have the same micronutrients?
No,
No.
no.
They don't.
So there's this whole world of people that are like, well, you just got to make it fit your macros. Okay. That is maybe step one. We can only wish. Yes, I wish. The other thing that happens, guys, is your body is this like incredibly magnificent machine. And when I actually have a video that I did on this, and it's really old, but I'm pretty sure it's in everybody's. I want you to imagine when you eat food that your body, imagine there's like these little guys that are in there, like little worker men, and they're going in there and they're starting to search for what they need. And like this one needs protein, and this one needs magnesium, and this one needs B vitamins, and this one needs selenium, and this one needs this, and this one needs this. And they're actually going in there and they're trying to search for what they need. So if they're in there searching and you feed them 8 cookies, I'll start with 2 cookies. When you feed them 2 cookies, are they going to find anything that they need in those cookies? Are they going to find any vitamins, any minerals, any magnesium, selenium, zinc, fiber, anything that they need? No. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to keep searching, which means you're going to keep eating more because they're still looking for what they need. They're like, yo, we got a job to do. I like that thyroid needs its vitamins, right? Those hormones need like we need these vitamins. And they're going to keep searching. Can anybody in here eat 8 cookies? I sure as hell can. Not even like a question. I can eat 8 cookies. Could you eat 8 whole eggs? Do you know that 8 eggs has less calories than 8 cookies? Far less calories. Why do you think that is?
They're very dense protein.
Yeah,
Like-
what else?
No sugar.
They have a lot of the nutrition and minerals that we need.
Yeah. Eggs are one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet, especially the yolks.
I'm making
If
some
not-
right now.
I eat eggs every day. Yeah, they're very nutrient dense. So if you imagine those little worker guys, now they're not going to find everything they need in eggs, but let's say you had eggs and some sweet potatoes and some berries. The worker guys are going to be like, all right, we got some shit to work with here. We've got B vitamins. We've got like fiber, right? We've got antioxidants. We've got vitamin C. We've got all these different things. And they're like, all right, like we got some shit. Like we're going to go get to work. And you're going to be full and you're going to be satisfied because they're getting what they need. But again, 8 eggs is less calories than 8 cookies. Unless you're eating some cookies that taste like shit. But most cookies have more than 70 calories in them, especially good ones. Right? But I'm telling you, if my mom came over here, my mom loves to make homemade chocolate chip cookies for my husband because my husband loves cookies. If my mom came over here right now with fresh chocolate chip cookies, I guarantee you I could easily eat 8 of them today. No fucking problem. I have never once scrambled 8 eggs and eaten them. I probably could. Right? Is this hitting home for you guys a little bit? So you guys are a tough crowd today.
Yes,
So these are
really
really
good. The
When you
donut
guys are-
analogy was perfect.
I can never tell if I'm like blowing your minds or if you guys are like, this is not good. So,
It's daylight
Daylight-
savings. Exactly. Thank you, Sarah. It's daylight savings.
not all calories are created equal. Exactly, Jennifer. Right. So like, but like this visual, I want you guys to like really think about this. Like, there's like these little guys in there and they're like going to work and they like need all this stuff. Right. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat cookies. I'm not, imagine remote teaching chemistry for a whole year. I couldn't imagine, honestly, Cami, I would stick a fork in my eye before I would do that. Like, fork in the eye. Chemistry is actually the only subject that I think I ever, like, it was like my worst subject ever. So I have a lot of respect for you, my love. All right, so I'm actually going to show you guys a couple things. Some of you guys are going to feel maybe a little picked on. I went into a couple people's food diaries and grabbed some real world examples. So when we look at this food diary, this person is not on the call right now. But I have had this conversation with her, which is why I went and picked her food diary. So we look at this. From a macronutrient perspective, she is on the smaller side, so these calories seem low.
Can you make it just a little bigger?
I can try.
I don't know. It's very small.
Is that better? Can you guys see it? Somebody?
That's better for me.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So from a macronutrient perspective, she is not exactly right on the money. She was low on her protein. How many micronutrients do you think are in this breakfast?
Not a lot.
Yeah. How about lunch?
It's better. It's
A
better.
little better.
Yeah. So from a macro perspective, she didn't do terrible. She's like a little low on her protein. She would have had like, she's on the smaller side. If she would have had 30 more grams of protein, like another protein shake, she would have been good macro-wise. Like micronutrients, when we actually look at this and break it down, vitamin D, vitamin C. So vitamin C, bone health, mood, hormones. Vitamin C, immune function, skin, antioxidants. Vitamin C is also one of the most important vitamins if you are chronically stressed. Anybody here who's got issues with your adrenals, one of the first things I put you on is vitamin C. I take vitamin C every single day to support my adrenals. Every day I take vitamin C to support my adrenals. Because why? When you are stressed, you deplete B vitamins, you deplete C vitamins, and you deplete magnesium when you are stressed. These are cofactors that your body needs to create cortisol. You're going to deplete them faster, right? Deficient vitamin, skin health, DNA repair, detoxing estrogen. This is super important. Detoxing estrogen is really important because estrogen can be very inflammatory if it's not detoxed. Blood clotting, bone health, sleep, stress, muscle function, immunity, hormone balance, metabolism. Anybody here? Thyroid health. Again, metabolism, detox support, thyroid function, energy production, collagen. Anybody else trying to not get wrinkles? Fighting like hell. Right? Like metabolism, bone health, blood sugar regulation, detoxification, liver support, inflammation, brain, hormone, gut health, digestion, blood sugar. Like, and this is not to pick on this person. I've looked at a lot of food diaries that don't look all that much different. Now, there are some things she did pretty well, right? She got some protein, she got calcium, some B vitamins, which is great, right? Iron, potassium, and sodium. Sodium is an essential mineral as well. Sodium is very important. So, and you guys will, when I switch you guys, for example, anybody who's been on a flush and is eating nothing on a package, what am I telling you? Salt, 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 salt. If you're eating a lot of takeout food, a lot of stuff out of a package, you're getting a ton of salt. If you eat, I actually add salt to a lot of things because I don't eat stuff out of a package, right? You have to have sodium. It's essential. And it binds to, if we look at the mineral wheel, it's really important, and several other minerals that you need sodium. So like your sodium, potassium are really closely related, and you deplete sodium when you're stressed as well. Okay. Let's look at another one. This is another one. From a macro perspective, obviously this person didn't eat enough this day. Right? They did a good job with their protein. What do you guys think about micronutrients for this day? What do you think they did well? All right, I'm doing either a really good job or a really bad job. We're going to move on.
I mean, it's totally mine. And
Conversation with you. Did I not have this conversation with you like 3 weeks ago, Sarah?
you did. I know you did.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't call you out. You called yourself out. So
I'll own it.
it was actually easier for me. I was like, I know I've had this conversation with certain people, so I know that their food diaries are going to be perfect for these examples. So rather than searching and searching and searching, because I've got a lot of people on my fitness pal. So yes,
I
it
hear
is
you.
yours. It is yours. So when we look at this, it's very similar, guys, right? Hey, we're lacking things for bone health, mood, hormones, immune function, skin, antioxidants, right? DNA repair, detoxing estrogen, blood clotting, bone health, sleep, stress, muscle function, immunity, hormone balance, metabolism, right? It's very, very, very similar. Now, there's obviously things she did really well. Interestingly, the things that are really good on here are actually the same things that are really good on the last one, which is protein, calcium, because we all eat, dairy's obviously higher in protein, B vitamins, and sodium, right? So let's compare that. So the other thing I want you to note is how short these food diaries are. Let's compare that to this one. The calories on this, I know it's really small. I cannot make it bigger because it's long. So you're just gonna have to like get real close. I'll let you guys take a quick peek. I want you to be aware that the calories in all of this food are the same calories as the first example I showed you. Do you know how short that one was? Do you see how long this one is? There's also room for dark chocolate in here. I could show you my food diary from every single day. I eat chocolate almost every single day. Not almost. I eat chocolate every single day. Every day. Every night after dinner, I eat chocolate. I eat 3 squares every night without fail. It's one of the first things I put in my food diary every day. What'd you say, Barbara? You're muted, so I can't hear you. You unmuted yourself and then remuted yourself. Unmute. Where'd you go? She just, I think Barbara was trying to unmute herself and she just left. She'll come back. So when we look at this, I actually have some things that are deficient as well. Vitamin D. Iodine's not actually accurate. I just told you guys I actually take salt every morning. I take electrolytes every single morning. So I still have some things. I also supplement with vitamin D and I supplement omega-3s because I am not willing to eat fish 3 times a week. I'm not willing to eat fatty fish 3 times a week. Right. So I actually supplement for these things. So even with all of this, there's still going to be like deficiencies.
And I think the biggest lesson for me looking at this is I know I'm still new, so I probably have all kinds of lessons to learn. Is that the meal planning is like the ultimate priority, because that's where I have found I'm eating much better if I meal plan, because I look at that list, and so 3 weeks ago I would have looked at that list and said, bullshit, I can't, this is too much to get ready. But so then the past couple of weeks with meal planning, I just I make things so I eat them, but I just do it all at once. But otherwise, for my life, if I was trying to have sweet potato for breakfast, it just wouldn't happen because I'd have to cook it. So everything's cooked. But I think for me, looking at this meal plan is, as long as I put time away for myself to meal plan, then I can eat like that, and I'm more satisfied.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it saying, I can do that, but I have to plan to do it. That's for me.
So,
I don't know about anybody else. That's just for me.
It's 100%. So Catherine, I don't ever have time to cook, or like almost never. The only thing I cook is my eggs first thing in the morning, and that takes me about 3 minutes. Right. And so my sweet potatoes are all prepped in advance. The rice is all prepped in advance. The chicken, everything. I actually almost posted. I'm going to post it for you guys later. So for example, yesterday I went from oh, my afternoon's not that busy to, oh, by the way, you're working until 7:30 tonight. I started at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I didn't finish work till almost 8 o'clock. So I was like, oh shit. Threw a bunch of stuff in my crock pot. Right. And I was going to send you guys a picture, right? Because you've got to be able to, my husband's working late. I'm working late. What are we going to do? Right. And so you're 100% right, Catherine. It requires a little bit of planning. And Sarah and I were talking about this, the thing is, has anybody ever taught or seen a little kid learning to ride a bike?
Yeah.
So when a kid you're going to teach them to ride a bike, do you just put them on a 2-wheel bike, give them a push and tell them good luck?
Only if you're my husband.
Yeah. Well, they're probably going to I fell and hit my head when I was a kid. My dad, I actually fell and hit my head doing that.
Right. Yeah.
But no, you get them the little tiny one with the tricycles when they're 2, right? Or the training wheels, right? And they ride and they ride and they ride and they ride and they ride. And then you might take off one training wheel after a while. And then they're riding with one training wheel. And then eventually, and even when they first are in 2 wheels, you're probably holding the back of their seat, right? You would never expect a little kid to be able to jump on a bike and just zoom off. But for whatever reason, we have this thought or this expectation that we should just be able to be experts at meal planning and prep, and it should just be this easy thing. You have to kind of earn this, right? So I don't spend all day Sunday cooking. I despise meal prepping. I hate meal prepping. I hate meal prepping. I hate having to plan my food every weekend. I hate it. Okay, like I'm being completely honest with you guys. If I don't do that, I can't eat like this. And then what happens? I'm puffy. I'm inflamed. My hormones aren't functioning properly. I have brain fog, right? I don't feel good because I can hit my macros by going next door and getting like a chicken euro thing or whatever. And I could be fine with my macros. But if I do that on repeat, so I'm not saying you never are going to have a day where you eat like an asshole. I'm not saying every single day needs to be like this. But if every day you're deficient in micronutrients, don't you think that's going to eventually catch up with you? Right? If every day, so I'm not saying every day, every meal. If you look at on the weekends, I don't eat nearly as many vegetables on the weekends. I just don't. No. I hit my macros, haven't really hit my micros. Because I'm busy. I'm doing other stuff, blah, 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 right? But if you're sitting here saying, like, I didn't win the genetic lottery, don't you think you might want to give your body a little bit more of a fighting chance? Because without these things, number one, you can supplement for everything. Does anybody want to take 1 million supplements for the rest of their life? I always say this to you guys on protocols. I'm like, guys, supplements are short term. There are some things long term, right? Like I said, I don't want to eat salmon 3 times a week. Cool. So I'm going to supplement for it. I don't spend all day outside in the sun as much as I would love to. I spend all day inside an office. So I supplement vitamin D. I don't eat enough food with magnesium in it, and I'm kind of oftentimes very stressed. So I supplement magnesium and I supplement vitamin C. That's it. Right? We don't want to be supplementing all of these things all of the time. But does everybody here want your body working optimally? I mean, we just went through DNA damage, brain health, thyroid, metabolism, inflammation, your hormone health, detoxing estrogen. Does anybody want like any of that stuff to not work? So here's what I want you guys to do. I want everybody to open your MyFitnessPal. If you are not tracking your food, that's fine. Not everybody here is in the same place in your journey. I want you to open your MyFitnessPal and I want you to look at your day yesterday. If you are not tracking your food, I want you to just think about your day yesterday. How many fruits and vegetables did you eat yesterday? Just count. And if you're not tracking your food, just go in your head and be like, and then I want you to either come off mute or I want you to drop it in the chat. Nice job, Chrissy. Okay. You was pretty good. 6. Not Kathy. Damn, girl. 9. Hey, no.
I cheat. I don't do a protein shake without a whole bunch of spinach in it. So it's not cheating. It's just like how can I?
That's not cheating. That's smart, right? So this is exactly all right. So avocado, lettuce, tomato, zucchini. Yeah. So I think some people. Does anybody feel like you maybe don't have? So Michelle, I think you're on a flush. So Michelle probably crushed it. Michelle's on a flush, so you're getting all of your micronutrients. So if anybody's done a flush, how much different do you feel when you're on a flush versus before?
A lot better. A lot
It's like
better.
night and day. Michelle, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say completely different human.
Why do you think that is?
Because I'm giving my body what it needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Michelle, you've been able to like completely eliminate most of your inflammation. You're walking double what you used to. Like it has been massive. But before we were focusing just on your macros, right? And so we shifted away from your macros and we're focusing on your micros, right? And making sure you're getting everything that you need, and your body is responding really, really, really well to it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And as somebody who has autoimmune, it's safe to say you didn't win the genetic lottery.
Good grief, no.
Right.
Right.
So it's like sometimes I think we get into the space where we're like, well, why do I have to do more than other people? Sorry. Not everybody does, but a lot of us do. Right? I fast every Sunday because if I don't, my inflammation gets out of control. I didn't win the genetic lottery, and I could fight it and fight it and fight it and fight it. If I go out to eat, I will gain 5 pounds in one meal. Inflammation, just like that. I know these things. Is it fair? No. Does it suck? Yeah. So some of us, and this is not for everybody, but some of you are we have to do a little bit more than the people that are like, just gotta focus on macros. Cool. You do need to focus on your macros. But what are those made up of? And I love what Kathy said, because the thing is, guys, is some of this can be simple. I don't want you spending all day Sunday cooking. I don't want you spending hours in the kitchen. Most of my meals I eat standing up at a kitchen counter, except for dinner. And I'll even eat dinner there if my husband's out of town. If my husband's in town, then I sit down and have dinner with him. But most of my food I eat in less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna eat standing up at a kitchen counter. It's not healthy. I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's a reality because I get it. We don't all have this like look, right? Like, oh, like I'm at home. Cool. I'm at home. And I spend a lot of time sitting in here on Zoom, just like you guys do, right? So Kathy's like, I cheat, I put it in my shake. A lot of you guys are having like these pre-made shakes for breakfast. You could easily swap that out. We have a whole protein shake recipe book, and you could add cauliflower and blueberries and spinach and avocado, and like there's 4 that you could get in right there.
I just want you to know, for the record, that day that you pulled, I didn't make my own shake. I had a pre-made one. But I usually have berries
And
and
you put
spinach
chia
in
seeds
it.
and berries
Yes,
and
all the
spinach,
things.
right?
Yeah.
So if you guys really like start to think about this, right? So if you look at like my lunch, I'm like, how many vegetables can I get on the broccoli sprouts, lettuce, tomato, cucumber? Because it's all micronutrients. And then what can I have on the side? If it's a workout day, I'm gonna have a fruit. If it's not a workout day, I'm probably gonna have a veggie, right? Because I eat more carbs when I work out. And so I really want you guys to just start thinking about, how do I just make this a little bit more full of nutrition? Does that make sense to you guys? Are your like wheels turning a little bit? Nobody wants to.
Yes, it was a really good reminder.
Okay. So look back. Everybody look back at your last couple of days. And I want you to just give yourself some feedback. I want you to be like, you know what, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. Just give yourself some feedback. And then I want like 1 or 2 people to share. Like, hey, I had this for breakfast, but I could have done this. You can share in the chat or you can share out loud. What are you barking at, Ding Dong?
I'm going to jump in. I haven't logged my food, but I think definitely adding the fruits and veggies whenever I use protein powder.
Okay.
Would be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Who else? Your ideas are going to help everybody. So
So
I
I
just
was
gave
at
you some of mine. Good.
I was at my parents'. So I specifically talked to my mom beforehand about what I wanted to eat while I was there. So like she made me a veggie frittata that was really like a whole bunch of vegetables and eggs. And then like we went to the beach, but we packed our own lunch, like so I tried to, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it was better than just not saying anything, right? So I did attempt to do better. Um,
Oh,
and
it's
I'm going to my sister's in a few weeks, but we're driving so I can like bring my protein powder and bring, like all that stuff with me and then shop, and I bet my sister will be happy because she'll be eating better too.
yeah. It's like riding a bike, Sarah, right? If you look at the journey that you've had with us over the last however many months, right? Like it's a journey, right? From where you started to where you're at now, right? You're learning to ride a bike, right? You maybe still have like a training wheel on, right? You're not like off to the races yet, but like you're like, oh, I can actually do this. I might not need you to hold on to my seat forever, right? Um, what else? What other ideas when you just look at your food diary? What are some changes you could make?
Well, I was just on a cruise, so that's probably not the best example. And I definitely should have packed my own protein. But I do think because I'm a creature of habit and I tend to eat the same things over and over. So definitely adding in more variety of vegetables or seeds or whatever into my day. Um, Even if it's just one or two new things a week, I think for me will definitely be helpful.
Also, one of the best things you can do for your gut health. We're not going to detour this call and talk about gut health, but one of the most important things you can do to have a healthy gut is food variety. A variation in what you're feeding your gut.
I
Really, really, really important. Go ahead, Kathy.
the last week I did not towards the end of the week, like the first, of course I was really good in the beginning. I didn't bring my cut up vegetables to work. So like I'm very fortunate. I have like a little fridge in my office and or I could just stick it outside in Colorado. We keep things cold, but I didn't bring that. And so I did find that I didn't eat as many vegetables like at the end of the week last week because I was too lazy to cut them up and put them in a little container. So this week I made sure, like you said, you don't want to cook all day Sunday. I don't either. But I learned from Carissa, so I'm just giving her she's not on today, but I'm going to give her all the credit. She chops everything up. So when you open her fridge, and then the other daughter-in-law, Laura, does the same thing. When I open it, if I'm staying at their house, I open their fridge and they just have all these containers of everything chopped. So I did that and it didn't take long. That doesn't take long. And then I don't necessarily have a plan for everything. I just have it. So like last night I had to work late like you, but I had rice and I had vegetables and I had chicken already cooked. And so I just, yeah. And I had clean lettuce, and so it was just like it was.
Throw that shit. Oh, yeah.
So then I gave myself a happy pat on the back because I've been crying a lot all weekend. So then I was like, see, you can do this. So
You can. It's like riding a bike though. You can't just ride a bike without learning, right? Like you have to learn and we have to practice. You have to be willing to not be good at something in order to get good at it.
And I used to think they were crazy that I would like go and see all this stuff in their fridge. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, I should have learned from them. But now I'm learning now. That's all it's important.
It's the only way. Wash everything together and then I chop everything. You also have way less dishes that way because I don't really like dishes. If Ava was on, she yells at me for using paper plates because it's bad for the environment. And I'm like, dude, I'm all about trying to make my life simple. The less dishes, the less cooking, the less I have enough shit going on in my life. I think you guys probably do too, right? So washing everything, chopping everything, I always assume chaos. Carrie, I'm meeting my 2 aunts for lunch out now. About an hour ago, I ate 2 eggs with kale and a turkey sausage patty, peel them shrimp. Learning to plan ahead has been such a blessing. Yeah, planning is a really I mean, like I said, I hate it. It's the only way. right, guys, we'll kind of wrap this up. Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts? Did you guys get a little bit of value out of this? Did you give everybody a little reminder? Guys, if you need help or suggestions, I want to remind you, we have an entire cooking food vault. There's literally an entire meal prep class in there of a meal plan, of me meal prepping, of me teaching you how to meal prep in under an hour. Like literally, I'm doing it in my kitchen. There's crock pot recipes that are loaded with veggies. There's protein shake ones that are loaded with veggies. We have resources for you. And obviously, you can always stop by office hours and ask as well, right? But if you want optimal function, if you want optimal hormones, if you want to not age any faster, if you want optimal health, it's not just macros, it's also micros. So take last week's call and this week's call, and you got to like marry those suckers. And the last thought I want to remind you is like, you can't just jump on a bike and learn how to ride. And so everybody's in a different spot in your journey. So if you're like still with the training wheels, cool, just be where you're at. It's okay to ride the bike with training wheels, right? Because eventually you're going to not need them. Cool. All right, ladies. I love you. If you guys need anything, again, office hours at noon the next 3 days. So feel free to stop by. If you need the link to that vault, all you got to do is ask if you lost it or didn't save it. Otherwise, let me know if you need anything and have a great rest of your Tuesday. Love you guys.